All right. We have like 4 months to really go over April, May, June, and July. Although last 4 months for FGO kind of have been a little slow, but that's more because it was OC4 and then the lead up into Anniversary, along with Grand Lancer Ascension. So forget FGO if they're not putting out a whole lot of characters over the course of 4 months. They're getting ready for the end of the year. So, just as a heads up, this is the last tier list of this format. Sneak peek for next tier list format. It is all characters in the class. There is no low star list next year. We're even have the low stars being put up against 5 stars at MP1, but that is more because of Grand Lancer and the raids. I feel putting the low stars when I'm talking about Grand Lancer, they shouldn't be separated. Mostly because I use more low stars while I'm doing Grand Lancer, for the actual use case versus a 4 star. Which if I can't use them in a support wise, they're not getting included in the fight. So yeah, good change of pace. I've kept the same format for a good couple years, and these are pretty much broken at this point. These do not work the way I want them to. So also forgive the scuff. We're not putting anyone in here because like even the last year, the servants aren't getting saved. So forgive placements here. If you don't see another character, same as the one in March, I'm probably not going to be adding them. These are all of my lists like this are going to the wayside after today. Um, these videos are still going to be up, but don't expect me to even check the link. Uh, the next tier lists are all going to be in Google Sheets, which for me works better. I can change it whenever, and people can see the fully updated one without having to worry about this. So let us go through with what we got. So Lancers first, Ryoma. So Ryoma got buffed literally like right after I did the last update for March, I believe. And Ryoma's buff was an MP buff. Um, like all it did was guarantee the drain because it did not have a normal effect before, and MP scaling. For a while, I thought he had a 3-hit MP, but it's a 4. So his looping is a lot better than a lot of people would give him credit for. It's just this low number here, 0.56, that gives people a lot of issues. But oh, okay, okay, very very funny, very funny. Okay, that was the wrong one. I'm like, wait, yeah, no, his MP got buffed, but this is the wrong one. Okay. I was still right that they gave it the trade. We're keeping this in here. We're keeping that scuff. Okay. Yeah, no. No change by what I'm saying, though. There is no change. Um, the MP did have normal effects, but the thing about Lancerioma is it was not just the drain they guaranteed. Before, it was just defense up. Now it's MP gain 20%, and train. God damn it. Okay, I knew for a I knew, that's why I was saying like 4-hit. I'm like, wait, huh? I'm like, no, his MP is 3-hit. Like I had to second guess myself. I'm like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. All right, yeah, no. So this buff with the MP gain helps him out a lot. Hokusai got a very similar buff, and that helped her out a lot. But yeah, the drain, awesome, and this MP gain means it's easier for Ryoma to loop his MP back again. Yeah, just way too early in the morning. It's a lot easier to just loop the MP, suppress fire, and you ramp up damage every time you do that. I was always like, when I was going through the tier list this year, it was more about max potential damage than like lowest easiest way to farm. successfully. So that's why Ryoma was up here this high. I do think without the MP buff, he shouldn't have been up in A+. I do think he should have been here. But now with this buff, he does kind of deserve to stay in here. Like, Percival's here because he can farm like crazy very easily. It does not take much to make Percival farm, and he farms really good. And he does it more consistently than all the other low stars. But yeah, Ryoma, he brings the damage now and the looping potential. Are you gonna be able to do him without plug suit support? Probably not. Not if you're starting with Black Rail, but we're at the point where we're doing 100 star. I think people can like get rid of only using double Castoria DPS. Like, it's starting to get to the point that the numbers, like, unless you have a super high copy, you have to be bringing a plug suit. Or other ways to farm. Not all the time. If you're doing multi-core, you have a lot more leeway, but single core farming, like you're using Parvati, are you gonna, like, are you saying, like, right now, you're gonna give up, like, Black Rail damage just so you don't have to plug suit? Parvati. So, yeah, Ryoma earned his place. And since we're already here on Lancers, let's do King Ahsoka and Typhon. King Ahsoka first. So, I recently did this guy's video, so more in depth, go to that. We're just going to briefly go through. Base attack is good for a 4-star. MP charge is very low, especially for a looper. Like, most, if this is not 4 hits, okay. Yeah, no, this is off by at least 20% from other 4-hit art servants, a la like Zenobia. You'd probably want this to be around closer to 0.5, but again, we'll see further in the kit. Also, he's a pillar man. If you didn't get that joke from my summoning a while ago, I'm not gonna forget getting all 3 pillar men at once. Hit counts good. Skill buff, AoE, very similar to Lancer Ryoma, except for him, he's giving, I think Ryoma's only arts, and this guy is everything here. So at the very least, MPs get 2, but all cards you get yeah, no, you can only use at any given instance, you can only use 2 at a time. But for the most case, it's 1. But a lot of characters do have double buster, double arts, and make use of it. Second skill, attack up, crit damage, and buff block whenever you attack. Really good, more for multi-core, but in a boss fight where you need that buff block. But yeah, by the way, buff block like this cannot stack. So, I mean, in a CQ, this, like, having buff block on the enemy, they want to cleanse this. If they only have 2 actions, they used up half their actions to cleanse it. And they also, like, because they didn't get a buff out of it, they might try to buff again and just not attack you. That was my whole argument when this character came out. Like, this is useful to making enemies, like, not take an action. And sorry, before I move on, that's just how the AI works. If they have a debuff they can cleanse, they will tend to cleanse it. If they're low health, they will tend to pop guts or a dodge. That's just how the AI prioritizes stuff. If they can do it, they probably will. Third skill, 30% battery, stars every turn, debuff resistance, and crit attack chance resistance. These are good numbers for the party. He really just shows his value as, like, if he's not even going to stick on the field for a while, like, just plop him on for 1 turn and hope he dies. This part is slightly annoying for that, because you can't have esports with the debuff res or the crit attack chance res, but if you need to give this to a character, he might already be getting 1 shot to begin with. And you just kind of play around that. Magic resist, true name discernment. This is a ruler passive. Interesting, and it's MP damage resistance against servants. Yeah, no, this true name discernment. I know he showed up in the ruler ordeal call, but no, wait, he was a lancer, but he had ruler class advantage. Okay, we'll figure that out in a year and some change. Passives. This if you want to do him for farming, but again, he's less of a looper and more multi-core, where he just clears. He's more of a wave clearer. But he does have anti-berserker. Can't doubt that. Last things. Power mods against evil alignment after the MP. Power mods against demonic after MP. But these work with the MP. Sorry, I'm just saying power mod mostly because face cards. But these do activate for the MP. And if it's only one enemy on the field, he gets a 50% MP damage for the turn. If you happen to be fighting someone that's also evil and demonic, this is technically 110% power mod, and then you get 60% crit damage for the rest of the turn. That's pretty loaded for one kit. I'm not gonna lie. If you're hitting niche and it happens to be single target, then this makes a whole lot more sense, because giving like 30% card buffs here is a little crazy, and then this brings it up to 130% MP damage. Unfortunately, it can't be doubled by Oberon. Not all of it, but holy shit. You give this guy Black Rail, and you're fighting one enemy, this guy is getting, what? 300% MP damage double stacked by No. 360. It's 360 because of Oberon's own battery. Or, yeah. Yeah, this guy can get some nasty Black Rail Oberon numbers, but you probably wouldn't do that because he's single target. And it's better to have a higher base modifier than give a whole lot of buffs for something that's super weak. Because you can only make something that's like 1. You can only multiply it so many times before it's like, okay, if we just get something that has 5, we don't need nearly as many buffs to do it. Last thing for the multi-core part, 20% defense down. And Bond CE is power mod to evil and demonic, and these are very like common power mods. If this was the new tier list, he would be going up in value, and I would probably put him like S. No, sorry, not S tier. Yeah, probably like B or A tier. Party support, just because he can do so much stuff. And again, he has a lot of party wide buffs. He's a lot of party wide. So yeah, I would probably put him at B or A, if it was next year's list. For this year's list, he is going in, I want to say B, only because you don't need that often. Like, I'm bringing up like cases for him, but think about how common those cases are. Outside Grand Lancer, you're really not going to need that. And yeah, Raiko is here at B, and she is a buster support, and she's if they buff her third skill, oh my fucking god, they're giving a 4-star targeted 50 card buff. They're not going to do that, but imagine though. Yeah, doesn't that thing have a cleanse too? Yeah, no. Goes here with Raiko. And again, I just feel that new format for the list is just gonna make other characters just show better than what we're seeing right now. All right. So, King Ahsoka. Next up, we have Indra. Oh yeah, take Rhea off here too. Indra. Indra is fun. Indra is a fun servant, but I don't expect him to be like being Britomart. In all honesty, I think Indra goes here. Yes, here with Britomart. No, sorry, not Britomart. Bramante. Reason being is that Indra does not really do crit damage. He doesn't. Indra's whole gimmick is remove enemies' buffs, and he gets charged from healing. That is his whole gimmick. Works in CQs if you can make a lot of this work. But the type of CQs he'd want to be in, kind of limited. In multi-core, he is very, very easy to like get up and running and just wave clear. Like he's kind of like self-sufficient on that. And he is quick. He doesn't front load the crit, but he can ramp up to it. So you can use him in what would normally be a multi-core team and just do it solo core with him, and that's kind of his strength. He's supposed to be loop farming, but he can also do like normal quick things where like, yeah, no, his face cards are gonna kill if it's just on one enemy node. So yeah, real quick, base attack, good, above that midpoint at 12.3k. MP charge at 0.55. This is low, but he gets so much charge just through healing, it really doesn't matter. You can use double Miyu to get this guy black rail looping, and he will refund enough. Is his damage gonna be there? Probably not, but you're slapping black rail on that, and he's just going. Traits, Divine Servant, Divinity, anything else for cards? Nope. These face cards are looking so goddamn good, though. 4 hits is the lowest. These are great quick cards, especially as a Lancer. Out of the Knight class, he has the best star gen. Again, this being low hurts, but you do a Mighty Chain, and he's getting his MP back. Like, refund is just not going to be something you're looking for. It's always going to be damage that you're looking for with Indra. So, first skill is where his whole gimmick comes from. 50 battery. Whenever he heals. Oh, wait, this is one turn? Oh. Huh, I could have sworn this lasted longer. Okay. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. Got it. Yeah, this only lasts one turn. So that, yeah, no, this is re-justifying why, he's here and not here. Ooh, yeah, actually, because I remember his Bonzi not being as good either. Okay, yeah. Okay, so when this activates, when he heals, you get a 10% battery. So this works the turn you do this too. So you activate this battery, then you use Plug Suit, and you heal him. He will get a 10 battery from just this, and then he will get another 10 battery from his passive. And he also gets 20% healing on this too. Something to note, you can HP regen and command codes do not work on this. It has to be healing or max HP up that you get outside of this stuff. So it has to be a skill that gives upfront healing. It has to be an MP that gives healing. And since we're already talking about this, let's go to the Bond CE, and yeah. It basically makes it so he has the regeneration buff that he gets with his first skill. No, sorry, different one. But it activates with the first skill and this one. So you get regen for 3 times, or you heal 1,000 every turn. It happens 3 times, so you get 20 battery from here for 1 turn, and then another 20 over the course of 2 turns. It sucks that this one, like, they made him so restricted on this. Yeah, like, a lot of the hype for this servant kind of got brought down by the amount of restrictions they gave on the healing. He would be a lot better, and this kind of does make him a little more clunky if you were trying to use like a double Miyu. Like, can he do it? Yes, but this will cause problems. 20% card buffs across the board. When he uses his arts or buster, he gets a quick buff, and when he uses quick cards, he will get crit damage. This also applies on the MP. So again, these numbers definitely on the lower end. Definitely on the lower end. It's really showing that he's not trying to do like a super high amount of damage. He just wants to be able to spam his MP as often as possible. And everything in this kit is kind of just like gravitating towards being able to spam MP. Third skill, 30% attack, power mod against serpent or dragon enemies, power mod against demonic enemies for 3 turns, and crit damage for 3 turns. There's a lot of just damage steroids. Nice that they're all on one character. Not character, skill. All on one skill. Debuff res up 20%. Riding A up, quick up 10%. Huh, Burrito Mart was actually, she was actually getting super effective, right? Sorry, I'm gonna go back to that in a second. Crit damage up 8%. Divinity, just for a little tickle. Star Gen up 10%. This is very nice on a quick servant. AoE quick, he has built-in Star Gen and crit damage. Yeah, so passive 18% crit damage, and he can ramp that up too. But yeah, no, this on a quick servant is just nice to have. Bond CEs. Since he has a 50 battery, you might want to do skill reloading if your team will let him double pop. If not, pretty much anti-Lancer, good for Grand Lancer if you're going to use him for that. Because for Grand Lancer, it is 2 enemies with 500,000 and Indra in the middle, and he does not take damage if those 2 on the side are there. So use case for this is Grand Lancers. It is one of the few cases, but it free damage is free damage. If it brings you from taking 5 turns to do something to 4, that's another turn you don't. That's one less turn you have to worry about an MP hitting you. MP removes all enemies' buffs and heals him, along with MP damage, 1 turn. I think his design looks really cool. I do think his kit is trying to do a lot, and it's not. He can do a lot of things very good, but he can't do like one thing extremely well. Yeah, no, he can do a lot of things really well, like a shocking amount of things really well. But pretty much, if he's not hitting this, you're going to be getting, like, not great damage. Like, it kind of did show in the 90++ for it in Grand Intra Trials that because a Rash wasn't, he didn't hit this niche, Indra was not one-shotting. And again, Indra doesn't have super effective to Dragon or Demonic. If they're gonna buff his MP ever, give him super effective. Make him double, triple down on it. But yeah, Indra would probably go here with Karna. All right, yeah. I was about to get rid of it, but no. All right, so we are going to go through the rest of the buffs first, and then we will touch on the other new servants. So... Yeah, low stars, right? The hell does that remind you? Oh, okay. Yeah, Anger Minu. So, Anger Minu got a secret buff. The secret buff, and I say that because they never announced anything with Anger Minu. The buff was that now he has an option of what type of guts you want to use, and added onto it arch ramp up, and I believe cooldown reduction too, or that might have been there already. Yeah, okay, no, that was there already. But this is a lot because it makes it so you can have a 1 HP guts stackable with other guts. Really, really massive for how his stuff works. It means that with a 1 HP guts for Anger Minu, it means that no matter where he got hit before he popped his MP, he's like, it at least is going to be a. He's not gonna have. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of like stumbling on the words. The reason you want a 1 HP guts is Anger Minu. The way his damage works is it takes the HP he has after his MP resolves and his final MP. If you pop his MP at 500 health, he revives with a 20% guts or a 50. There is no negatives. You can't do. You're not gonna heal them for negative damage. Your MP is just gonna do shit damage. And Anger Minu is already a meme. He's already a gag character. He doesn't need to actually have his MP do 2 damage or some stupid number like that because you popped at a bad time or something happened right before you MP, like some kind of drain. But this does give you options, whether you want to even take advantage of this part of the MP or just use him as like anti-beast stuff, because like his Bond CE is like class advantage against beasts, like full class advantage. If you have like a souped up Anger Minu, I'm not gonna say that like try to use this shit on a beast, no, but I mean, hey, a 120 Anger Minu against most beasts is probably gonna do better ish face card damage wise. Like you could hear the joke in this. Like, I'm not being completely serious about this. Anger Minu is a gag character. He's never not gonna be a gag character. But at least if you're using the gag as intended, it at least does something. If you're hitting someone that has some kind of like really, really low HP but a lot of damage res, this is faster than doing DOT, but DOT is so much easier. Like, this strategy pretty much only works better than DOT if the enemy is debuff immune. Like, do you hear how many caveats I have to give to this to make it useful? Do you understand? Like, when someone says a character is good, but they are giving so many ways that you can counter it, it's not that good. It's good for when it's good, but when it's not good, it's dog shit. If the enemy has 3 million HP, what the fuck is 50,000 true damage gonna do? You would do more damage doing a Brave Chain with Jason than you would with Anger Minu's MP half the time. His MP doesn't take buffs. How you give triple Scotty to Anger Minu, his face cards are gonna do more damage than his MP ever will. I'm just saying this on the real. He is a gag character. He is fun if you make him work. Do not slot him in and expect him to clap cheeks. FGO itself makes jokes about how that's not happening. All right. Odysseus. Once again, another MP buff. This one, just as justified. All his MP was before was buff removal. That was it. His MP scaling, though, this is amazing. I have no notes on this part, besides this not being 3-turn, but 30 base, and you're saying it's going to have ramp up? No. No, 30 base means it's 1 turn. This is appropriate. If only Indra had this level. Indra's base being 10% is making me think they're going to buff the MP eventually and make it 3 turns. And just make him a spammer. This being 1 turn told me they were never going to buff and make this ramp up. 20% is allowed to ramp up, not 30. But, yeah, MP buff, crit damage ramp up, stars, these don't need to activate. Yeah, no, it makes no goddamn sense why these activate first when you can't crit on an MP, and getting stars before the MP is not going to make it crit. This arts res down would have been really nice to happen before damage, but we can't all have nice things now, can we? It is a good thing that it's 3-turn, but it's more for either supports do the critting with the arts card, or Odysseus does it to ramp back up, or subsequent MPs and he just ramps up more. Yeah. Oh yeah, and this is bring up Rider, the most recent one at least. Yeah, again, so like, where are we looking, chat? Because even some of this is wonky. Okay. Yeah, so Odysseus, have him here at B. With this buff, easily goes to A. If Bakken is here, then Odysseus gets to be here. If Achilles is here... What the oh, no, he's up here because he does more than just loop. Yeah. Suzuka would be here just as a looper. She would be up here, but Achilles does do a little more. It's just his loops aren't clean. But not having enough charge isn't an excuse in today's age. Like, no excuse why he would not have enough charge. All right. So, for MASH, this is gonna, yeah. So, we're actually not gonna talk about MASH on this list. Because talking about MASH gets way more complicated than just how is this form doing. TLDR, like MASH, because she has the option of being 0 cost, is always going to be EX, in my opinion. No matter what form you have, even in the Paladin form, I still see that as EX because of that broken-ass passive. Yeah, okay. So, I'm not putting her on a list, but I'm just showing exactly why, even without the 0 cost, she still deserves EX. You would still have this character on your party for no reason other than this passive. It's like you would have, like, if you're doing if your team is primarily Buster, and you're doing, but it's not esports, you would bring Castoria into a CQ because Castoria is just that good. This is the same way for the new MASH. Limits the party's damage taken to 1,000. No matter what the attack is, you limit it to 1,000. Now, I don't know whether this works with ORT in that raid. But imagine if this passive actually worked and you could technically stall out more turns with ORT because of this broken passive. Especially this version of MASH makes it so you take less damage in general. To get to this point with MASH being the DPS and you focus around damage cut, mitigation, and healing, How the fuck are you even supposed to die? Like, honestly, you run her with Tomo and, like, Castoria or some shit, how the fuck are you supposed to die? You have healing, you have solemn defense, and you have this just in case the solemn defense gets stripped away. And you're still not going to get one shot no matter what. 5 of these stacks, it's like, boom. Like, all enemies get hit, only one, and would take more than 1,000 damage, only one stack is gone. How are you actually supposed to die at that point? And again, the new Mash is a DPS. She is a DPS. It is not like you're doing Invincible comp without a DPS. No. So yeah, no matter what, in my opinion, Mash is always going to be EX. There's just too much flexibility, and then there's also this where you have a 0 cost servant in your party at Bond 15 that is going to give you 25 everywhere, but if you are in the Lost Belts or maybe even further, it's going to be 45%. Sorry, not sorry. Like, gameplay wise, probably doesn't deserve to be an EX for every category, for every version of it. Meta wise, she absolutely does now. Yeah. So not even gonna put her on the list. All right. So these 3 left, and then we're done for 10th, leading up to 10th anniversary. Sorry, my throat is still not all the way back from when I was sick, so I had to take a brief little break from this recording. By the way, this is the rough draft for how the next tier list is going to look. Just thought I'd leak this in this tier list video since it's coming up really soon. All right, so we have 3 servants left. We're going to start with Jean Metatron because I think that honestly is going to be the fastest one. So in my opinion, John Metatron is going to go, excuse me, probably, I want to say A rank. I was considering putting her up with Nobu, but John Metatron is not that much better than Nobu. Or no, she's not better than Nobu. I have to say that. She is not better than Nobu. Nobu is a farmer and hits very, very high damage. John, not meant to be a farmer. She kind of really can just exist outside of like normal farming systems, and she's a servant that you can pretty much just use throughout the main story. There's like having especially a ruler, having a ruler that's able to do like effective stuff, good cooldowns, good damage. You would be surprised by how much of the game you can clear with that, with like 0 problems. I'm saying this as someone that like cleared through most of part 1 with like a level 70 shock to melee. Like I literally only got stopped in Camelot because it's Camelot. And then at that point, like level 70 just wasn't cutting it. For my own characters, but she didn't have her skills leveled up either. So there's a difference with a ruler, though. It is like for a ruler, you can't. There's no excuse why you're getting stuck before like your skills are hitting like 8s, 7 or 8s. Like yes, the secret gems, they're annoying. But let's not pretend that they're the hardest things in the world to get. You can get it at any time. You can't, for instance, get gallstones anytime you want. You have to go farm them, and your chances aren't good. Secret gem, the drop chance aren't good, but at the very least, you can get a lot from lottos. So, yeah, and then Ascension, do events, and then you'll get it. Alright, so, Metatron John. Good base attack for a ruler. Like, very high for a ruler. HP, also not super high, but, like, again, for a ruler, effective damage and effective defense are not what is shown here. Because, like, half the time, she's taking half damage at bare minimum. You give her more defense ups, not taking damage. And if she does take damage, she'll just heal. MP charge at 0.53%. She's not quick or art, so this really doesn't matter. This is only face cards, and look at these hit counts. Just good. Just get, like, Indra. These are Indra's hit counts. But she has 2 arts cards. Lawful good for the CE. For 2 CEs, I actually have to say. Because there's a lawful female, and then there's a lawful good CE. So, easy 40% here. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a Saberface CE. I wouldn't be surprised if there's enough Saberfaces for it to actually, like, make sense. They're not going to do a CE for Divinity. That's just way too many. Maybe a CE for Non-Human. But again, that just means non-human, and she's non-human because of Metatron. First skill. And again, haven't read OC, so I don't want to talk about this. Also, we're not doing lore. That's more video. Sorry, I gotta get out of my head. All right, buff removal resistance, 100% for 3 turns. Yeah. Basically, you can't take her buffs, you can't debuff her, and you can't do damage to her, along with a 50 battery. I'm saying she's not going up here with Nobu. But she's definitely not going with Amakusa down here. No, sir. You can't have CQ utility like that and not be good. Like, this literally this makes enemies waste actions on you. This makes enemies waste actions on you. This makes enemies waste actions on you. Or mechanics don't work. And then you get a 50 battery on top of that. Yep. This is just good. Second skill, party cooldown reduction by 1 turn. Crit stars every turn for 3 turns. And gain crit stars. Good utility. Sucks this is on an 8-turn cooldown, though. I believe, though, you can farm with Alco if skills 1 and 2 are maxed out. I think. I'd really have to double check that. I don't think you can actually get away with it. But there are so many farming comps, I'd have to actually be doing them before I say that. And I don't have enough time for a tier list to check every single team. 30% attack, 50% crit damage, and ignores invincibility for 3 turns. So, her skills don't do anything crazy. She doesn't have, like, ridiculous skills that you need that are a paragraph long, like Indra. But what skills she does have, they're skills like literally anyone would want during a CQ. They are skills that literally any servant could want and or use. Now we get to passives. 12% crit damage, 200 damage cut, 5% crit, 5 crit stars per turn, and 5 gauge per turn. Divinity for tickle, MP damage, sloth, mental debuff resistance down. Oh no, increases mental debuff resistance. But you are very likely to fall asleep. Anti-ruler damage, which it's not great, but it's not bad either. They'd be doing 1 time anyway, and against any other class, she'd be doing 1 time, so not the worst. She does kind of shit on Amakusa. Amakusa can't do shit to her. So that honestly might be the reason, just to shit on Amakusa. And would highly recommend this because of how long this cooldown is. MP. Power mod against good. Power mod against evil. What servants doesn't she have a power mod to? Ones that are neutral and summer. Right? Neutral and summer. Oh, and chaotic. And bride. Yeah, it's those. Other than that, she gets at least a 50% power mod. If you're Arjuna Alter, you get hit with both of these. So she, much like Martha likes to introduce everyone to Jesus. John is gonna introduce Arjuna Alter to God. Capital G God. Not lowercase g, capital G. Also, heals the entire party for 2k, and you get a 10 battery on top. And base MP damage, not ramp up, base MP damage for the MP is 20%. So, my thought on this, after seeing Indra, and then Odysseus today, if they buff this MP, they're going to make this ramp up. Based on this number, especially because it's a 5% increase, this is a safe MP for them to, like, if they give it ramp up, they're going to make it 3 turns. They do that. This character is still good. So even though this character doesn't have a card buff, again, my example is you use her through part 1. Why would you need a card buff? You're not farming. And coming back to farming, what buffs does Koyanskaya and Oberon not give? Attack. All of this shit. Stars return. What a lot of people would see as a flaw that she doesn't have her, like, a lot of self buffs is not that much of a flaw when you consider oversaturation of buffs down the line. It does suck she only has 1 skill for damage. But the fact that every buff she does get is going to be meaningful and not saturated, awesome. Her main weakness is no super effective, but again, she is introducing everyone to God. So, yeah, God, anime, and damage. Bond CE, 30% MP damage, and healing received up 100%. On a ruler, this is stupid. Because now, like, she's healing 4,000 to herself, not to the party. No. Healing power. Sorry. This does turn this to a 4k heal to the party, along with MP damage. So it sucks she's a ruler because this is a good CE. Just like Typhon, it's a damn good CE that really helps out her kit. She's just not going to be using it because you can't use this with anything else. So, why would she go in A? She is generically good. And I don't mean that in the bad sense. I mean that in the good sense. She is generically good. There is no actual flaw with her kit besides that she's not specific enough for anything. She's built to handle pretty much most fights in the game. Again, power mod against good and power mod against evil. There are very few servants in the game that are bosses that don't fit that category. And sorry, I said servant. This is enemies. That there is a difference between anti-servant and anti-enemies. It's just that good alignment, evil alignment tends to be servants or enemies like servants. Say Lost Belt 6. None of them are servants, but they are good, they are evil. So, yeah, not clipping it for here, but she would definitely go around A. She is super solid, but a lot of what she has, you probably don't need, like full 3-turn buff removal resistance. That's very nice, but but most min turners know what turn they're gonna get buff stripped. They give that prevention to that turn. They don't need it for the whole entire fight. So sometimes, again, depends on the enemy. If you're fighting someone that's spamming buff strip, only gonna get good. Oh, sorry, only gonna get better, and then that's number one. Number two, short-ish cooldown. So even if the when you lose that, you're not gonna have buffs anyway. And then when you get it off cooldown, any more buffs you get will not be taken. All right. So next up, I don't know why I closed it. Oh, well, isn't that perfect? We can find our servant right here. Typhon. I like this servant a lot. She is very, very fun as a farmer. Easily goes up here with Tiamat. If Tiamat is here, if Cuckoo is here, Typhon is going here too. Easily. She is the AoE Buster Pretender everyone has been waiting years for. Everyone has been waiting for a single target Pretender with Phantos Moon to be able to nuke alter egos. She's able to do that and multicore. This one, she's not. Can she do multicore? Kinda. Yes, she can. But she is definitely a single core farmer with monstrous potential. The first sign of that is triple buster on an AoE buster farmer. So even if she's not getting her MP, if she gets a full buster brave chain, that thing is hitting. It's doing so much fucking damage. All right, very high base attack too, like insanely high. MP charge 0.6%. Her hit count's not the same as Indra's, but not that far off. Animal characteristics. Costume owning. Let's see what else. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a mechanical servant card. And again, non-Hamididae. But off rip, 2. First skill, invincibility, 2 attacks 3 turns, 20% attack for 3 turns, 20% buster for 3 turns. Is this a little low for buster self buff? Yes. But you multiply this with this, and then it doesn't matter. You're doing more damage overall. And again, in buster farming, you have a whole lot of buster up, not so much attack. I would gladly trade 10% buster for 20% attack. That's not even a question. That's not even a question when you're talking about when everything is going to be doubled up anyway. Second skill, although this is what you pop last. Depending on what you're doing. Sometimes you might pop this, but it depends. Like, you might pop this early, but it depends on if you're popping this on her or not. If you are popping this on her, this is the last thing you do. If you're popping this on another one of your servants, kind of depends. But overcharge 1 ally's MP 2 stages for 1 time, and this lasts for 3 turns. So you jump from overcharge 1 to overcharge 3 for that first MP. You reduce their skill cooldown by 1. You up their crit damage by 30% for 3 turns, and you get 15 stars. Generically good skill, reduces her own cooldown. Lets the farming work even if some of her skills aren't maxed out. Specifically this one. You're not going to not want your battery maxed out. Third skill. 30 battery for herself, but also another 20 for the party, so this is 50. And another 20 attack buff, but this one is for the party. So, her own kit, 40% attack, 20 buster, along with crit damage. So, 80% attack when doubled with Vitch, far more than most other servants even get when they double up with Vitch. Like, not many servants are hitting 80% attack when doubling up their own stuff. It's like Melisande is like the only other exception, and she has a 40% attack buff on that broken first skill, because it's like the attack buff, the battery, damage cut, and I think that's it. But that's still like Ibuki which is like Ibuki's same attack buff, but hers is hit count restricted. Again, please. Yeah, no. Okay, no. This is actual reason for Ibuki's first skill to get buffed. Because this is a character that has a 50 battery with 40% attack too. Why is it Ibuki's turn-based, but hers isn't? Like, yes, hers is party-wide, but that makes it even more reason for Ibuki's to not be hit restricted. If Typhon gets 40% for herself and 20 for the party, why the fuck does Ibuki not get 40 for herself for 3 turns? Sorry, I need that rant because Ibuki is one of my favorite characters. I really like her personality. I mean that for 2 reasons. If you get the reference for that, good on you. I'm not apologizing. Passive skills, 5% gauge up per turn, 10% MP damage, 10% crit damage. Last passive, buff removal resistance, 30%, but a 30% debuff resistance. Now, normally, that would be such a big demerit. Not for Typhon. She wants to get debuffed. I didn't mention this curse earlier, but she wants this curse. She wants to get other dots on her. Because dots are the best things for her. They don't affect her damage. Getting hit with attack down, not the worst thing for Typhon because she has so much attack up. Like the way attack down and attack up works, it's subtraction. It's not like you divide. It's not like attack down you divide like with the total buffs. No. It is additive. So that's why like attack. Also, sorry, it's probably one of the reasons why she has so much attack in her kit. It's to mitigate that. Also, defense down, easier for her to die, and you're using buster farming. But if you're farming, it kind of doesn't matter. But again, if you're farming, you're not exactly getting a whole lot of debuffs. So this character is restricted when she's restricted, and this is going to sound right. She's restricted in her most common use case, and her least common use case is when she's like fully unlocked. Because you can do normal farming stuff in a CQ. Is it the smartest thing to do? No. But you can do it, and you can get a lot of good damage out of it. This character, skill reloading comes first because she has built-in 50. But if you want to do Black Rail stuff, you're going to need this maxed out. If you're going to do Summer Chloe, any of that stuff, you need this maxed out. Or with Oberon in front. Wait, no, you would need Summer Chloe out in front. Alright, MP. 7-hit AoE Buster. Ignores invincibility. Damage to all enemies. Super effective based on the number of debuffs on her. You would prefer DOT with very low damage. I believe there's only one command code that actually lets you do it. In the future, if they have more command codes that put like very baby dots on you, especially for like Van Gogh works in a similar way, but hers is just battery, but she really doesn't want to get cleansed. Same thing for Typhon. Typhon, you do not want any cleansers. So like Raikou has negative synergy with this character. Do not bring Raikou because you will you're trading super effective for Buster up. No, don't do that. If you're gonna put Raikou in the team with this character, Raikou needs to be going first before even Typhon uses her own skills. Because again, she uses her battery, she gave herself a debuff, and Raikou would cleanse it off. Burns all enemies, spreads the fire. Because of this part too, you can use Honey Lake. So you have invul no matter what. Even if you get buff blocked, you'll still have invul. And if they get burned, they can't really do anything about that. Yeah, really just depends. If you're doing a run that doesn't rely on MPs, I would consider bringing Honey Lake over Black Rail. Especially if you're much more focused on taking advantage of the triple buster deck. Then I would definitely put Honey Lake on Honey Lake on over putting on Black Rail. Because again, Black Rail, it gives you more damage. The curse from Black Rail does not count for this. I did check that. It did not count. Now, granted, that was in Chaldea, so sometime, like, at the time, might not have worked. Again, I'll double check that stuff at a different time. Maybe if I'm doing like a damage video, which, yeah, no, actually that's not outside the realm of possibility. I do have this character MP2, so I probably would do like actual damage use case. Yeah, this same as Indra, but this ramp up again jumps up 10. Yeah, definitely try to save this for turns. Definitely try to save this for turn 3, because Oberon will again double this. Bond CE, 30% MP damage, but here this you barely even care about this. You care about this part. Every time you normal attack, you get a curse stack on yourself. This there is no question. I would pick this over Black Rail any day of the week, because I'm not losing that much MP damage, especially if you do not have a MOB like big Black Rail, like level 100 fully maxed out. If you have like a level 20 Black Rail, only one copy, you're giving up attack for being able to ramp up your super effective. And not just the super effective, you're also ramping up crit damage. This is definitely one of the best Bond CEs out there. It really, and I said this in the video too, it sucks that Typhon is a pretender, because she's not going to be able to be Grand Pretender to take advantage of this. Again, easy EX if she's going up here. And I also do want to move MHX down. I do want to move her down to A. I'm just saying that right now. If I was doing more for this, hold up. Oh, no, okay, so I already moved her down. Yeah, no, I already moved her down. That was just the oldest. Okay. Makes way more sense. Yeah, she would go here. And yeah. The last thing we have to do, Lilith. Because certain people saw it in the original trailer for OC1 and like they were ready for her. They were ready for her. So this is gonna be my addendum to Lilith. Because when I talked about Lilith in the original video, I was under the impression that this was a card resistance down. It's not. It's crit resistance down. So really does suck. I had confused this skill with Khosrow Drop's skill, where if you crit, you get card buff. This is if you crit, you get more crit damage. I believe, who's it, Carmilla? No, Carmilla's is like defense down if you crit, right? Yeah, no, hers is defense down if you crit. This is more crit damage if you crit. But like, while this might be like, some people might see this as bad or good, this for me is, if you were gonna crit, you're just gonna crit more, and now everyone else in your party does more crit damage. So rather than an 8, like, and if someone swaps out, they still do more crit damage. So this I feel much more for multi-core, and I'm saying that because actual multiple DPSs, like this character dies somehow, like Lilith goes down, whoever the next DPS is gonna be, they're coming in and they get crit damage for free. Alright. Lilith. Base attack, 12.7k. Good for a Berserker. MP charge, 0.4%. Not great, but she is a quick Berserker. She is supposed to be critting on these cards. Notice only one Buster card, no Ruler Scotty. Lilith would prefer Khazra drop. She would prefer OG Scotty. She would prefer Doman than Ruler Scotty. And that's just how it be. Animal characteristics, an actual demon. We see anti-demon for some servants. I believe it's like Martha. Yeah, no, Martha. Martha definitely about to introduce Lilith to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Right? Wait. Okay. Wait. Let me actually double check that Martha has. Yes. Of course, it's just Martha. It's just Martha that has anti-demon. Yeah, my knuckles weren't cracking for that one. If I had more time before this recording, it would have. But yeah, Martha can introduce Lilith to Jesus Christ, so just be careful about bringing Martha to fight saints. Demonic beast, divinity, like lots of stuff, but only one actually gets you bonus bond points. First skill, 150% chance to charm for one enemy, pretty much as long as they're not debuff immune, you're probably landing this. Even the Goddess Essence Magic Resist combo, that's usually only 50. That character is going to need to like have another source of debuff res to even block this. So like even the soccer faces that are notorious for having like super high magic resist, yeah, this most of the time this is gonna bypass that. Already talked about this. This is not card resist down. This is not card resist down if you crit. This is crit more if you crit. And you get 30 stars. Like even as an esports unit, this is like really good. Like if you're using her as an esports charm unit, you don't even have to level for a guaranteed charm. Like if you are truly using her just like an esports comma support, this at least guarantees super like summer commas landing her super effective on whoever you're targeting, and for OG comma you're guaranteed hitting the super effective on that one. Second skill, 30% arts, 30% quick, and 2-turn dodge. Standard. Third skill, 3-turn Invo Pierce, 30% attack buff, 50% battery, mental debuff res, down 30%. This is for herself. Unfortunate. I wonder what this actually is. I wonder if this is like, wait, is this like, I hate MASH. I hate MASH so much, I'm going to try and cuck her so hard. Is this the actual? Because I know like Lilith really doesn't like MASH. But because I haven't read OC4, I don't know if it's like illogical hate MASH, and is like trying to take like the reverse flash thing. Like that's what I'm like, that level of hatred. It was me, Barry. It was me. I'm not gonna go into some of that shit because holy fuck, reverse flash. Passive skills, 12% Buster up, Divinity for tickle, power mod against living human enemies. All of these servants, all of them. You even got Sono G up in here. Good luck trying that with Alco. I truly wish you luck, Lilith, trying to show your hatred to Alco, because she's just gonna kick you in the face and then shoot a bullet at you, and that's it. And she's just gonna walk by the tree and keep on her day bumming around. Keep going. So, Lilith, again, you're going to want this or this, and then switch it around. Probably avoid this. Okay, no, this actually has a use case because against rulers, it's either you bring an Avenger or you bring a Berserker. Taking less crit damage from a ruler, yeah, no, that makes sense because like everything else was gonna crit her to death anyway. Might have been the one class that you would normally bring something other than a ruler to fight. And MP, power mod against lawful, power mod against good. This. Like this. Inflicts poison, inflicts curse, reduces their defense, and then inflicts chaotic alignment and evil alignment. And then super effective against charm. And it's really funny. If you use Lilith and John in a multi-core, Lilith would make John do more damage because of this. Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember how I was feeling with Lilith in her initial release. Yeah, we'll go down to this. 30% MP damage, crit damage against lawful, crit damage against good. Is like this character is literally just win harder. It is just win harder. And then outside of like her as the DPS, like her as just like an esport support, you slap K-scope on this character, you charm them, you inflict them, and then they kill her. And then you just keep cycling. Yeah, like this is a super, super solid like DPS berserker that can actually function very much like Nightingale as a support. I would honestly just put her up here or here. And I really don't even know which one. A+. If I had to do it right now, it would be A+. Only because the enemies aren't always going to be lawful good. But it's also not like she has super effective for lawful good. She's going to make everyone chaotic evil. And you can take advantage of that. But you can't just make people lawful good. Yeah. It's like she has three use cases. One is just like a berserker. Two is evil, like esports evil afflictment or charm support, and then three anti-lawful good. Her not having the super effective though. Oh no! Sorry, I forgot she had the super effective against charm. Didn't say that she does have super effective against charm. So yeah, no, the lawful good, lawful evil kind of really doesn't matter. It's more the fact she can only charm once. Yeah, it's the fact that she can only charm once that is my issue with putting her up in EX. If she and Summer Kama has the same exact problem. If they could reapply their charm, they would be EX, but they can't. So unfortunately, as much as I like this character, she has to go here just because there's slight differences in her kit. Yeah, when it comes to next tier list 2, by the way, Nightingale would be going in EX for a Berserker. Just giving like an example of like some of the stuff that would be going on for this tier list, Nightingale would go here as EX Berserker support because there is who else is giving Buster up to these Berserkers. So I just wanted to give that little sneak peek for the tier list update, or not tier list update, the next tier list that's going to be in at least 3 weeks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my rambling. I spent way too long not doing these recordings, and whenever I get a big group of them, it always takes forever. I've enjoyed having my Sunday back. Hopefully when I go through the tier list this time, not nearly as long, but we'll see what ungodly endeavor I'm gonna get into. All right, peace, chat. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.